Hi, this is Siddharth Venkataraman, and welcome to yet another episode in the series Intro to the World of Marketing. So, today in this episode, what we'll be looking at is the Kapferer's brand Prism. So, in the last couple of videos, we've spoken about what is a brand, and then we spoke about what are the 8 elements of a brand. What we're going to do today is look at what is the Kapferer's brand Prism. So this is something which is a very critical element which actually puts into perspective all these things which we've been looking at till now. How do we practically put to use all these 8 elements, or how do you define your brand so that from that you will be able to define these various elements, and from that your brand would be established, or you would be able to put together your brand map. Okay, so this is basically a hexagon. Okay, and it can be seen in various dimensions, or it could be seen in various perspective. The top two parts of it represents the brand or the organization. Okay, and the bottom two represents aspects relevant to the customer. The This part of it, which is the right side of it, represents internal values, or how brands or how people see themselves. Okay, and this one is about the external values, how others see the brand, others see the organization, or how others or the organization sees their customer. So these are the various aspects of it, and this can be defined into six buckets, I would say. So let's start with the first one. So the first one was called the Physique, and this is how the company shows themselves to others, or this covers everything from how the product is, okay, and how's the visual appearance, and this is where all your identity comes in, which is the palette, the logo, the color. So what represents it? Okay, so this is basically called the physique, okay, the form factor, and all these things come here. So what I'm going to do now is, for when I cover each of these elements, I'm going to give you an example. And for the sake of example, I'm going to take up the brand Apple. And I will tell you what Apple represents in each of these components. So when we take Apple, when you talk about the physique, okay, it's about clean, accessible user interface, soft edges, the form factor, clean form factor, soft edged forms. It's generally light in color, generally white, silver color, light color, soft to the eye, and very sleek design. So this is what you look at as a form factor. And obviously the logo, you know how the logo looks, the Apple logo, right? So this is what is called the physique. So this represents how your whole brand or the organization looks. Okay. The next one is personality. This is how the company communicates its identity to others, and it's the voice of the brand. This will actually come across, or I would say, how you define the personality is what will come out in your communication, and that's what will reflect in your communication, or should reflect in your communication. In terms of Apple, the personality is that of a innovative brand. It's associated with innovation, it's associated with creativity, and it's about being cool, and then it's about being ahead of others. Always Mac users feel that they are ahead of others. Okay, and it's simple and easy to use. So Mac users, generally Apple product users, very rarely move out of Apple products and go back to another product, or go back to the brands which they used to use earlier, because they believe that it's simple and easy, and it's like good to use. So that's the personality of the brand. Okay. The next is culture. So again, culture is about internal values. Okay. This is what defines the core of the organization. So it stems from the organization. So if there is an organization, that culture resonates across all functions, and it's not only dependent on the product. It could be in every function in the organization, which could be HR, which could be design, R&D, or manufacturing. It could be anything. So, but the culture is the basic DNA of the brand or the organization. And for Apple, it is this, that they believe in change, and they believe in bringing about societal change through technology. They believe in empowering people through technology. And this is their culture, this is their basic culture. and at times it's also defined as purely it's an American culture. The organization resonates an American culture, okay, and more specifically, a lot of people say that Mac or Apple brand resonates specifically a Californian culture. Okay, it's like kind of modern but laid back, something like that. Okay, so but this is the basic DNA of the organization, and that's what even the employees of the organization would feel and would resonate. So relationship is about what customers hope to get from the organization or from the brand, which is beyond the basic features of the product. So it could be anything as simple as a post sale support, or how good easy it is to get your product serviced, or it could be about expectations from the organization saying that, hey, this organization is always ahead of others. So today if I'm going to buy their product, I'm going to be ahead of others, and tomorrow they keep upgrading, they keep innovating all the time, so I'm going to have that advantage. So it could be anything like that. So it is something which they expect, which is beyond just the features of the organization. And in terms of, I would say, Apple, it is about making feel connected, involved. It's a modern, the feeling of being modern or up to date or ahead of times, and then easy to do business with. It's easy to purchase a Mac. It's easy. You can easily get it serviced. Okay, and this is the kind of a relationship which they have with the brand. The next one is about reflection, which is how the company sees their ideal customer, or it could also mean how your competitors see Mac's or Apple's ideal customer. Okay, so that's about successful. Okay, so they look at a niche audience. It's not for the mass market. They look for a niche audience whom they believe people who are successful, people who are willing to spend a little bit of money. Probably on technology, on improvement, or people who are willing to invest in things which will increase their productivity or which will improve their way of working, and stylish people and people who strongly believe in technology. So, this is the kind of people whom they believe will be ready to buy a Mac, because Mac by any chance is not a very low priced product. So this is the kind of belief they have, or this is the kind of customer persona they believe would be the one. And now again, for each of their products, they could have a slightly different persona or a slightly different reflection of their customer style, but predominantly this is what it is. And self image is what the customers feel about themselves, or about what the organization feels. Okay, so they believe, or the customers, when they buy a product of Apple, they feel that they are very creative, they get very creative, they feel they're empowered, they feel they're very valuable, and they feel they're confident, important, they feel they are doing something which a lot of others are not able to do with ease. So this is the kind of self image which they have. Just to recap, if you look at it, this the top two shows about the brand or the organization, which is the physique and the personality. The bottom two is about the customer, what the customer and the organization thinks about themselves, and what the market and the organizations thinks about the customer. So if you look at this side, the external values is about the physique, the relationship, and what outside ecosystem sees about your customer. And here is about the core DNA, which is the culture, the personality of the product, okay, the personality of your brand, and then what the organization and the brand and the customer think about themselves. So basically, this is what you call as the brand prism. And this should help you define for your own brand each of these elements. And that would make it much easier for you to drive your other elements which surround the brand. And this can also be used for you to evaluate your competitor, or to evaluate a current product which is in the market. You can use that to evaluate that product or that brand through this prism for you to get an understanding of where they stand, or if you have a competitor, where your competitor stands and how you can get the better advantage, or how you can actually try to reach out to their customers in the most ideal way. And this is also very, very important, because this will give you a thorough understanding of how do you need to construct your value proposition in a way which actually appeals to your customer, and in a way it makes meaning to your customer. Okay, so this is what we call as the brand prism. So these are my other social channels. Please do follow me over there. I keep adding a lot of content over there. And if you found this content useful, please do like this video. Take care. I will see you soon. Bye.